We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. I'll ask for in returns for you guys to smash that like button, and here we are with the SPY, and we're going to talk about some things, and towards the end of this video or somewhere around the middle, I'm going to try to bring it all up as soon as possible. We're going to break down the SPY first, but I have some information you do not want to miss. It's very interesting how things are correlating. You do not want to miss this information. It's going to be very important moving forward, especially going into this next week and the next few weeks, right? So we have the SPY here, and as you could see, the outflows crossed the midpoint, right? And we got a bear indicator on the 30-minute, and it's done a complete transition from the rip to the dip, right? The last dip that we hit was right around this area on August 22nd and the 23rd. We got that bull indicator on the 24th, and it went from 412 to highs here of 420 right there, going up nearly a 10% plus move, right? Almost 20%. So here we are with it coming back down. This is very important because as it's coming back down, there's a lot of things that happen this week, right? And we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to share with you guys what is interesting. I know there's a lot of people that don't believe this, but while stocks are going down in one area, there's always another area in the stock market in a hidden divergence, and I'm going to share with you guys why. That's why you guys want to stick around for this. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was mentioned yesterday morning over at the Discord. And as you see popping up on the screen, these are some of the home runs that were managed to be found this week alone. And while it's not guaranteed to be this way every single time, we strive for opportunities like these every single day. So the home run of the day was spectacular and beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on in the pre-market and receive this edge and clarity over the charts with our 42 vision indicators and getting connected to our bots, check out the link down below in the description to the Discord. And by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So the home run of the day was from our SPY bot. It sent out a bear indicator at 9:35 a.m., hours before the whole entire meeting that actually Jay Powell was speaking today. So this sent out a bear indicator way in advance to prepare us for the opportunity that was ahead, and put options went up 500% plus within hours, guys. If you guys want to receive this edge and clarity over the charts, check out the link down below in the description to the Discord. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities like these every single day. Let's jump into these charts. So here we are with the SPY, and as you see pulled up today, I have the inflow versus outflow, the bull and bear indicators, and our 42 vision indicator pulled up. And if you want to receive this edge and clarity of the charts and join a community of members that are using this as a resource to maximize on opportunities within the volatility, you're more than welcome to join us. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities, as you saw, every single day, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. And this is all about receiving that clarity and that edge within the volatile markets, right? No matter which direction stocks are going. So here we are with the SPY, and it's under a bear indicator on the 30-minute as well. Our home run of the day was from our SPY bot, as you saw on the 5-minute. Sent that bear indicator all day to the downside. Outflows got crossed, and it stayed below it, even though there was some dip buying going on. Not enough to go ahead and cross back up, right? Now on the 30-minute, same exact thing. It was just a downward trend all day. Some dip buying here in the after hours, and we need to see if it even brings itself back up towards the midpoint here, because it needs to cross it if it's going to have any significant impact to the upside. I mean, you could see here once it crossed it on the 24th, it stayed above it all the way until today, yesterday, Friday, and it hit that peak, and then it crossed it back down, and look what happened, right? So super important for it to come back up towards it. Now, when you zoom out here on the SPY, right, you can go to the 1 day, and it got a bear indicator a few days ago, just crossed those outflows again, and it's actually becoming very interesting as it tries to test new supports of 405 and all the way down towards 400. Okay, very important, and then 395 below that. Right now, this is the first time in weeks that the outflows crossed on the 1 day chart. Now on the 1 week here, when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it had gotten a bull indicator here, but it lost traction very quickly. Just in 1 week, things are pulling back down. We need to see, is this really a fake out to the downside? A lot of people are saying we may not even retest these lows. Then you have people saying we may. And right now, the inflows in the bigger picture are dominating, right? They're dominating in the bigger picture, and it's going to take for this to stagnate and kind of sit sideways and pull back towards the midpoint or below it to completely impact this chart. Either this is a fake out to the downside or a pullback before the next bull run, and if these inflows stay above, there's going to be some hidden strength in how much money came in from this dip here to this rip, okay? From way down here at 370s, 360s, all the way up to 432. It's a very interesting position where the overall market is at, and the last time that we were in a cycle like this, it lasted 6 months, right? When that bear indicator popped up, and I've been stating I was going to watch for a bull indicator to pop up. This is a very interesting position. Now, I have compared this whole entire drawdown and pullback, not to the 2021, not to the 2018 one, but if we go all the way back here to the 2007, how it had fake outs and then pullbacks that continued, and the dot-com bubble. Here's a point where it fell for some time. It got a bull indicator. It didn't really go much higher. The inflows, they stagnated, right, after they crossed up, and then they quickly shifted from green to red and crossed back down, and then that was the next leg down. It got a bear indicator and continued. And a lot of people have compared this current pullback to the 2008, 2007, and the 2000 to 2002, 2003 dot-com bubble. And it's looking a lot more like this one than 08, right? 08 was just a straight shot down, no bull indicator in between to create confusion, but you got it right there. And that's what I'm watching here, because this could quickly shift back to a bear indicator, right? And these inflows could stagnate here. And if they pull right back down, this was all a fake out here, big bull trap, but we won't know until the long term, right? We need to see how this plays out. Does it find support? Does it actually break back down or retest the lows? We need to watch these levels carefully. And how do we do this? By zooming in, right? The 1 week is showing us how it looked back then in 2000, not guaranteed to be the same way. It could actually cancel out and bring itself back up. No bear indicator, and this bull indicator was picking up a signal, right, based off specific levels that there could be some further strength underlying this whole entire run, right, as it brought itself back up from the dip area. But this is what we need to keep in mind right now. What's going on in the 1 day? Cross back down. We need to see if it finds support above the recent lows, and it did shift from bull to bear indicator. And also, if you go to the 1 month, we are under a bear indicator. We shifted back from red to green bars, but we're still here with these outflows dominating, but it is stagnating. It's kind of just sitting sideways. It's going to take a further pullback to the downside to bring this down even further, but all it takes is for it to come back to the midpoint or cross, and all of this could continue to find strength. We need to see what's going on here, right? There's a lot of volatility, a lot of different information, and a lot of different things going on at the same time. So the main thing is the SPY needs to stay above the recent lows of 361, 362 to actually show some real strength. If it retested or breaks through it, I'm sure that the 1 month and the 1 week will continue the path back down, and this could probably get a bear indicator, and it could be our next leg down to even newer lows. Now, why did this all happen? And what I've been talking about with you guys since the beginning of the video. What is it that I'm watching? Because while there's something pulling back, there's always something else pulling upwards, right? So right now it has to do with Powell sees pain ahead as the Fed sticks to the fast lane to beat inflation, being more aggressive. That is why the overall market fell really, really fast, right? On 1 day, we basically erased, right, almost all the gains from way down here, almost like 30% of it in 1 day. And in just a few days leading up to that 1 day, right? The pullback here, slight jump up, and then pull back down. If this did not come back up this much, and we kind of just sat sideways, we would be even lower than 404. We would probably be at like 395 to 400, to be honest. something to keep in mind. The one thing that kind of made this look a little bit smaller and not as big of a pullback was this slight little run here in 3 days. Keep that in mind. So that's what's going on. But this is the one thing I want you guys to see. What's popping up here on the screen. The fact that Chinese companies right now are actually receiving stimulus. While we're tightening, China is stimulating. That is very interesting, right? And then we have these companies coming out on Friday while all of this is happening, right? We're talking about tightening here. And China stimulating. At the same time, they came out and stated, and this SEC actually announced it, that Chinese companies have agreed, right? There's an agreement to allow U.S. officials to audit Chinese firms, potentially avoiding the delisting of hundreds of Chinese stocks. This was the big fear, the big FUD, the uncertainty behind it, and now these inspectors are allowed to travel to China and Hong Kong to start their examinations in September. This is very bullish, long term and short term. Now, it states that there's about 200 companies at risk of US delisting, but now with this compliance and actually trying to, at least China firms and China itself coming forward and saying, okay, we'll work with you guys. And they came to an agreement, okay, keyword, to allow US officials to audit these Chinese firms. Well, there's a potential that the companies that seem to have real value and growth potential are going to survive through this whole entire change. Now, could this actually mean that all 200 are going to stay? I'm not going to state that. That's speculation. And also, again, I don't know what the future tells. But in the meantime, there's going to be a lot of attention on Chinese stocks while the US market is pulling back and talking about tightening and being aggressive. The Chinese government, as you see there popping up again on the screen, is stimulating, okay? And if you remember how the US market moved when we were stimulating, very interesting stuff. And if you look at any Chinese company and you look at their charts, they've started to move up big time this week alone. And now with this news, it's an even bigger deal. If you made it this far into the video, I look forward to seeing your thoughts down below. But I'm going to be watching the strong companies, not the squeeze plays or, penny stocks of Chinese companies. Those will also be on my radar, but they're not my main focus. I'm going to be looking more at stocks that actually have reputation and are actually part of the growth sector and have potential in the future that a lot of more bigger investors may be looking at as well. Because while they're stimulating, we're tightening, our markets are going down, their stocks are going up, and then now they're also coming out, and the SEC announced it itself. So this is legitimate source and information that they're agreeing to allow these audits, and this is a big deal from removing that uncertainty and doubt. And a lot of money could flush into it because while the markets are going down, there's always something moving up, and a lot of people are going to be paying attention to it. And just to give you guys another little nugget to pay attention to, oil, guys. Oil went all the way up to $95 and some change, and it's coming back up from 91, and we need to watch it carefully because this could go ahead and shake up markets even more in the process of pulling back, not coming down to a deal with other countries, and then coming to the point where supply is now becoming restrained and pulled back on. That's the speculation, that there's going to be less supply and the demand is going to raise. And if this gets back over 100, that is going to create even further turbulence, and oil companies could be in for a possible run. Not guaranteed. Nothing that I've shared is guaranteed. This is just all about setting up and watching for these bull indicators to pop up, such as oil. It's right now under a bear indicator, but inflows picked up. See if these bull indicators pop up. And if you zoom out to the 4-hour, same thing. It's been under a bull indicator. Outflows got crossed, and see if it could bring itself back up and actually cross it again. Because the last time it crossed it, look how it took off. I mean, it went from 88 to 95. If it crosses it again from these levels, well, I could see us above 100 plus. So something important to keep in mind and not be surprised. Again, I look forward to seeing your guys' thoughts down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. and let's make some money.